Hi, I'm glad you could join me today. Today we're going to make a lemony slice and bake white cookie. It's got a very nice lemon flavor to it, and then we put a sour lemon icing on the top. And if you like lemon, you're going to love this cookie. It's really easy, so let's bake. We're going to start with half a cup of butter, 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. Make sure you wash and dry your lemon before you zest it. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 egg yolks, half a cup of sugar, and 1 1/4 cups of gluten-free flour with xanthan gum. For the sour lemon icing, I have 3/4 of a cup of icing sugar and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. You want a thin, runny icing to put on top of your cookies. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sugar and the butter in this bowl. Okay, so you just pour the sugar in the bowl, and then you scrape out this butter, and then you combine these two until they're nice and well mixed and smooth. You can sift your sugar if you like. If it's lumpy, some places there's a little more moisture in your sugar tends to get a bit of lump in it, but this butter is nice and soft today, so it's working quite well. When you get this mix, the next thing you're going to do is add the egg yolk, the lemon zest, and the vanilla extract. And you beat this around, and as you can see, it's a nice yellowy consistency and color. So I'm going to take the lemon zest, I'm just going to use my fingers and pull that all out of the bowl. Then I'm going to put the vanilla extract in there. And I'm going to throw my 2 egg yolks, just the yolks. You don't want the whites in this recipe. And you beat this until it's all nice and smooth and creamy. And you can see it becomes a nice yellow lemony color without the benefit of any additives. This is a nice cookie. The lemon cuts any of the butter flavor, so it's really kind of a, if you can believe this, a clean tasting cookie. It's nice to have after you've had a meal, or good with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, whatever you prefer. There you go. And that's what it looks like when it's all mixed together. Now we're going to sift the flour right into the mixture, and I've added a little bit of salt to my flour mixture. Just 1/4 teaspoon. I use salted butter, so I often don't add salt to the baking. But if you use sweet butter, you will have to add a little bit of salt. And you just keep mixing this around until it's all blended and nice and smooth. In a cookie dough sort of a way. Then we're going to divide it into 2 logs. You need to put it, wrap it up in some plastic wrap or parchment paper, whatever you prefer. At this point, you can make the little logs and put them in the freezer and take them out later and bake them. Or you can put them right in the oven after they've set about an hour or an hour and a half in the fridge to cool off and become formed and firm. There, as you can see, the dough's starting to come together. This is a super simple recipe for anyone that hasn't baked before. There will be another bonus recipe in the video description box below at the end of this program. There will be the recipe for these cookies and another bonus recipe as well. There we go. And if you're a competent baker, you should have no trouble figuring out how to make these recipes without me showing you how. And if you've watched all my videos, then chances are pretty good by now you're quite a competent baker, and you probably don't need me to show you how to do this at all. Right, so that's our nice soft dough. I'm going to divide it into 2 pieces, and I'm going to roll it into a log shape, and then I'm going to wrap it in plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator, because as you can see, it's quite soft at the moment. And if you tried to bake it, it would just be a mess. They bake in the oven at 350 degrees, and you bake them for 10 to 12 minutes. Keep checking them, because where they're such a light cookie, they will get brown quickly, so just keep an eye on them. going to bring out my baking pan, which has my plastic wrap on it. I'm just going to lay each log on the plastic wrap, and then I'll roll it up and put them in the refrigerator. So I can do it without making a mess. There we go. So that's all you do. I'll put it back in the bowl so that it'll have the opportunity to firm up without me handling it too much, because at this point this dough is quite soft and you don't want to leave a bunch of fingerprints in it. And once it's a little firmer, you can roll it up again to make it rounder for yourself. I'm going to put those in the fridge. Okay, now this is firmed up nicely. I'm going to take the plastic wrap off. As you can see, it's quite easy to handle it now. What I usually do is these two ends are not very fancy. So what I do is I cut them off, and they're the sample cookies. They're the ones that the cook gets to try before everybody else to make sure that they're fit to eat. Then you just slice these. It's very easy to do. Use a sharp knife, it'll work better. If you're going to freeze them, it's better to chill them first, slice them, and wrap them back up in plastic and then in another bag and put them in the deep freeze. So when you want to bake them, you can just take out as many as you need. And you can just make a little bit of the sour lemon frosting if you like. There. I'm just going to lay these all out on the baking pan. Then I'm going to put them in a 350-degree oven. Like I said, 10-12 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. And then when I think they're done, I'll take them out and cool them, and then I'll show you how to frost them. Okay, now we're going to make the frosting. These are the cookies after they've been cooled. I only put 6 out because I didn't want to spend all day doing this for you. I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice in there and stir it around. You'll be able to see it'll become quite liquid, and you'll decide at that point if you want more lemon juice in or if you'd like this frosting to be a little thicker. I just add and take away as I see fit, so. But you may want to follow the recipe a little more exactly if you're not someone who's baked a lot and are unfamiliar with how much liquid and icing sugar you need to mix together. I'd like it to be a little wetter, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. And if you make it too wet, you can add just a little bit more icing sugar to it. If you're following the gluten-free diet, make sure that you check your icing sugar is gluten-free, not the kind that has some other binder in it other than cornstarch. There, and that's all there is to this sour frosting. So that's simple. Now I just take the fork, or the spoon I mean, not the fork at all, and I just drizzle this frosting all over the top of the cookies. Now you'll have to let this firm up or it'll run all over the place. You can put more or less, or dip the whole cookie if you like and do the whole top. It's however sour you prefer your cookie. The cookie will have a lemon flavor anyway because of the zest. So now I'll just take the fork and I'll drag it through there to make little patterns that'll probably fill themselves back in, but it'll spread the frosting around the top of the cookie a little better. And then you can put them in the fridge for a few minutes and the frosting will set up. And then you'll be able to enjoy a nice lemon cookie with a sour frosting. If you like lemon, you need to try this recipe. I think you'll really enjoy it. I want to thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.